guys, happy Monday. Joe Madden here. It's time for All-Jo Madden over here on Picks and Parlays. Already seeing you guys pop in there. Make sure you drop your questions and your comments in the chat. We're going to try to get to all of them. We've got a double header in Monday Night Football. So excited for that. We've also got 9 games out there on the diamond. So it's going to be a busy day. Lots of stuff to go over for us. Sean Higgs is going to be jumping into the show. You know, we got a couple of things to do before he gets in here. It's going to be an interesting day. And now when we talk about who hurt you yesterday, I tell you, who hurt me yesterday? Who hurt me Saturday? It's been a brutal weekend for me. I'm the first one to admit it, but some highlights. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2 on the season. You guys know I'm a Chargers fan, and I took so much love in the Eagles getting that win straight up on the money line. And then we also saw the Atlanta Falcons come out and get the win with the Minnesota Vikings just not looking complete offensively out there at all. The Falcons came out strong defensively, put those points up on the board, and took the win. So the last couple of games that I did watch were able to make me some money. But those heartbreakers out there, I tell ya, let's see what I lost. And now while I get this up and I'm telling you guys about those games that really hurt anyone betting them, especially with the dogs yesterday, make sure you do open your odds logic page. I'm seeing your comments come in. Chargers, Raiders over. You guys know we're straight on that. But yeah, the Titans. I got absolutely crushed by the Titans. I had them plus the 4.5. The Rams came out so much stronger than I expected, winning that one 33-19. We did get the Giants covering. Now, I thought that was one of the ugly ones, trusting in Russell Wilson out there. And it's funny because I don't know why I did this. I had the Cowboys. I panicked last minute with my survivor pick. Not gonna lie. I had the Detroit Lions, and then I was like, oh my God, what if Ben Johnson rolls into Detroit and hands it to them? And I just thought I could see that storyline happening. We know it didn't happen. 52 points out of the Detroit Lions yesterday, absolutely smoking Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. He got booed there coming back to Detroit. So I last minute flipped. I took the Cowboys in my survivor. You know the panic in that game. You're watching the last 2 minutes of that game, and if you're rolling with a survivor pick, I tell you, you thought you were done and roasted, especially when Russell Wilson got that last, 25 seconds left on the board, a touchdown. So it was absolutely crazy. They won it in OT, kept my survivor pick alive. So that was an interesting one. The Giants did cover the 4.5. 40-37. Who would have thought that many points? The New York Jets destroyed by the Bills, 30-10. How did the Jets not perform better? I guess in week 1, they were just prepared to take on the Steelers. That was awful. The Browns also got destroyed by the Ravens. Like, come on, Joe Flacco. We did see Dylan Gabriel step into that game, 3 attempts for 19 yards, but wow. They got absolutely destroyed. And then the nail in the coffin was that Bears pick. I took the Bears plus the points, and the Lions just coming out 52-21, you guys, was that final score. And like I said, thank God for the Eagles, and thank God for the Atlanta Falcons, because otherwise, I don't even know if I would have made it here this morning. I would have just let Sean Higgs take this one all by himself, as I would have cried myself completely to sleep. But knowing that the Chiefs are 0-2 to start the season, and I am so sorry, Chiefs fans, but you guys know I'm a Bolts girl here, and you can see the Phillip Rivers over my shoulder. I even have Raiders guys over my shoulder and Denver Broncos guys. So yeah, the lack of love does come within the AFC West for the Chiefs, because we all know they're sitting at the top of that. And as we get into Monday Night Football tonight, I think this is a pivotal game. Chargers versus Raiders. We're going to see what these two opponents have versus each other in the AFC West. Now, a lot of people thinking that the Chiefs just, coming back from Brazil, if that weighed into things. So we're going to get Sean Higgs's thoughts on that, if that weighs into things, but it is a doubleheader. The Chargers and the Raiders are the late game. And then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Houston Texans kicking us off. Now, this is going to be an earlier kickoff than I would have thought. I thought they would have pushed it to that 8 p.m. Eastern, but we are kicking off a little bit earlier in that one. So we're going to get into that. Again, 9 games on the diamonds. Open your odds logic pages. Make sure you do drop those questions and comments in the chat here. We want to get to all of them. Richard, I'm seeing your Chargers and your Raiders to the over. We will talk with Sean Higgs about that. But let's bring in the man of the hour, Sean Higgs. Welcome to the show, Sean.
How are you today?
Well, I tell you, I almost didn't make it today. That's for sure. So I'm so glad I didn't cry myself to sleep last night.
Yeah. Listen, interesting game. I got to. You know what? I got to switch my thing. I got the StreamYard on one board, so now I can look at the camera because you're over here, but I had the camera facing me here. I had to switch my window. You know, listen, Dallas, interesting game. I gotta say, believe it or not, even for the Jets getting crushed the way they did, I did not see that one coming. No offense. You know, Bills off of a Sunday night huge comeback, 80-point game. You figured they'd be a little tired. Justin Fields would be able to run a little bit on the defense. Nothing. That was shocking to me, believe it or not. Burrow out for, I mean, let's be honest, he's done for the year, 3 months. And then he's got to come back, and so I don't know how Cincinnati, you got a backup who's been there, won a couple games. You got to downgrade him a little bit, obviously, out of Burrow, but I don't think they're totally done because they have some talent on offense. But you see this team. The defense is terrible. Where else? What upsetting things did we see?
How many interceptions did Browning throw? I gave up counting after the second. I was like, okay, that's 2.
Yeah, they still won the game. Yeah. I mean, come on. You thrust the guy in. You were down. You got to throw the ball. Yeah. Things happen.
It was a tough situation.
And honestly, when I saw him, I was doing I was with the president and those guys on Wager Talk yesterday, doing a live. I said he got hurt. Okay. I'm like, you know what? Let's grab some Minnesota. I grabbed some Minnesota -1.5, and it went to 5, and they play like crap, and it's 3.5.
Yeah. You guys crushed that show, End Zone, over on Wager Talk. It was just lighting up the charts. I kept tuning in. I would have loved to have jumped in, but, I was just having a day. My bets were all going sideways. I was like, I can't give my opinions on anything today. So you guys absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, listen, Prez has the energy there. He's going crazy. Me, I'm just sitting around eating a cookie. It is what it is. I got to that's a crazy way to live. I'm a bet and forget it guy, Joe. Like normally I'm not. I put my plays in like I'm doing now. Like, okay, I got 10 college football. I'm 10-0. That's the way I'm going to bed, and I should wake up Sunday morning. Yeah. Until the games play. I'm not gonna. I get you. If it's fun when you're with other people. I guess like Absolutely. If you're sitting home and if you're out and about, you're having a good time with your friends. Yeah. It's fun watching the actions and stuff and eating some hot wings. But it had like almost 20,000 viewers on the live yesterday. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. You guys absolutely lit it up. So make sure you guys do go over and check that out next Sunday. Hopefully you're on again, Higgs. Let's jump into today's action, though. We got a doubleheader. Let's first jump into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Houston Texans. My biggest question mark for the Texans is, can this offense bounce back? We know in week 1 out there, they absolutely struggled versus the Rams offensively. Defensively, they came to play. They shut down the run game. They were all over Matt Stafford. But can their offense do their share? Can C.J. Stroud lead this team to victory today, Higgs?
I'm a C.J. Stroud fan. As bad as they looked, turnovers, just a bad second half. 14-9 is an ugly game all around. Now, we just saw the Rams come out, and if it wasn't them taking these at the end, they would have put up a 40 spot over a Titans team. Again, we could say the Titans rookie quarterback, not a good team. They still have a decent defense. I mean, now the overreaction to first week to second week is always a thing, right? I like Houston though. I also like the under because Houston offense is the last couple of years always there's somebody hurt on the offensive line. You got a running back's banged up, a wide receiver's out. Stroud puts up numbers. I got Tampa Bay in a back-to-back road spot here. Houston, believe it or not, listen, you go 0-2 here. You got Jacksonville, they should have won. Let's be honest. I mean, this is you can't get to be 0-3, Houston. So I think this is I hate saying like a statement circle the wagon type game, but you could be looking at 0-3. This is a pretty much a must-win kind of game as there is in a week 2 of football. Tampa's already got their road win. They're home next week against the Jets. Like, this is a spot here, and we saw them barely pull it out, right? I mean, with Atlanta, and how good Atlanta looked last night. I mean, do I think Tampa Bay is a good team? Baker's had a nice, he's good. He's won some division titles here. This spot here, though, I got to look at Houston and the under.
Yeah, I could see it. You look at Houston's defense and what they're able to do to Matt Stafford in that game versus the Rams. They held them to under 80 rushing yards. It was complete domination defensively. And like I said, they were always in Matt Stafford's face. They were putting that pressure on. How do you think Baker Mayfield's going to react in this game? What do you think the game plan will be for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, knowing what the Houston Texans did last week, Sean?
They're going to do their thing. You're not like we know this. You're not as bad as you look, and you're not as great as you look, unless you're like Buffalo or Baltimore, putting up like 40 spots again. In most cases, a team kind of rebounds off a bad start, right? I mean, that's what coaches like. All right, let's get on it. Bad one, let's get it going. So they're going to – the guys, they've been to the playoffs, Houston. How are you overlooking a team with a quarterback who's been in playoffs as a rookie? There was no sophomore slump. He went back to the playoffs. They can't overlook it. But on the same token, Tampa Bay's not going undefeated this year. I think Houston, on a person-for-person kind of thing here, is equal to Tampa Bay, right? I mean, the line tells you it's a pick 'em. I mean, It's 3. You're playing home field basically, 2.5. It's they're actually saying Tampa's a better team, but I like Houston, and not even just I'm a Houston homer. I like the coach. Maybe I am. Maybe I just kind of pull for the team because I'm a fan of the coach. I think the quarterback's good, and Tampa again for me, it's just not the right spot for them. I'm a guy who looks at sort of like a spot like, it's not a good one for them. They got the win. They can lose here. It doesn't affect them. Where Houston loses here. This could go into a downward spiral. So this is you got to get right. We look so bad. We need a win here because we have a division rival up next who looks like they're kind of got their act together a little bit. And bad loss, but can get some games get fluky like that. I like that the coach went for it on 4th down from the 5-yard line. Like, all right, we can go up 10, but you know what? We can go up 7. But let's try to end it. I can't really fault that as a person. You want to win, but Jacksonville, Houston got to be like they're 2-0 in their mind. We blew it. We should have had it either way. Houston can't lose this game. They can't.
No, this is a must-win for Houston. They absolutely can't. So those lines have moved from the opening, you guys, at 2. Now we're seeing on Odds Logic, you can get a 2.5 at -108. The majority of the books have that juice up to -115 to -118. And that total, we've actually seen it come down because of the respect for the defense out here. 46.5 was that opening line. We are now seeing 42.5 basically across the board. The juice will depend on the book. I'm not seeing any 42s flat. How low is too low in this one, Sean? If you're looking at the under 42.5, at what point maybe live betting this game? If this one starts off super slow, we dropped to like 38, 36. Is there a point where you'd be willing to take over in the live betting market?
I don't like doing that just because I put my play in first, and then if you like something, you're automatically wired to keep liking it, right? So now it's down. You're thinking, you know what? This game could still go over. And most people are over bettors, right? They just want to see points. So coming back on under, you're like, oh boy, I don't like just keep doubling and tripling up because things can go awry. And you're like, how did this game? Monday night was prime example last week with the Bears and how did the Bears and Vikings go over last week? You look at that game, it was like 13-6. Like this is a snooze fest, and you got the same thing last night, right? They're thinking, how's this even getting to 30 points? Absolutely. Things happen. I don't like to just keep jumping in and double, triple your bet. And the average person, let's be honest, they're just hitting a button on their phone. It's a credit card load. It's not real money to them. You're just hitting a button like, all right, I like this. And then next thing
it's not real money till that credit card bill comes at the end of the month, right?
I mean, really, it's not. You go to a window and you hand in cash money. That's totally something different. That's why, when I'm in Vegas or I'm AC, I want to get a ticket. I mean, you feel the money coming out of your hands. It's not like you're at a craps table. Oh, look at these pretty chips. They're purple. Yeah, well, bro, they're $500. They're not pretty. It's $500. They make them colorful chips, so you just think they're chips. It's real money. I don't know. I'm not a live bettor. I don't like to do it. That's why my game's a winner. It's like the under. Here we go. It's 23-16.
Yeah.
Have a good day. I'm on to Tuesday.
Let me throw it the other way then. We're live here. It is 11:16 a.m. Eastern. If the lines move, I'm expecting the lines to move up. If anything, you said it. Public loves to come in on overs. Yes. They're looking at Baker Mayfield. They're looking at CJ Stroud. Remember that game where he was able to, drive down the field, get the win in that game last season. So the average bettor, I think, wants to take this one to the over, especially looking at a 42.5, not the 46.5. If this does drop the other way, though, if people are coming in on that under, if this moves to 41.5, you still willing to jump?
I'd still play it. Yeah. I mean, it's coming. If it's coming down, it's because who's moving on it? That's not the public is not moving on unders.
Yeah,
they're not. Unless 19 guys and gals on the pregame shows tonight at what time this game go at like 7:49 or whatever, 5 minutes before game time, if every person comes in like, oh my goodness, this is going to be just a slop fest tonight. Look at this play. No, you're playing in a dome. Automatically, you got Baker, you got that offense at Tampa Bay. They're thinking over. It's just why isn't this game 27-24 and easily sailing over into the 50s? I don't know. Absolutely. Why is it so low then to start?
Okay, I do have a couple of trends here. We are going to get into the late night action on Monday Night Football, as well as look at whatever you're liking on the diamonds. I just want to throw out these trends for people because I didn't at the start of the show. I also wanted to remind you guys to go over and get your votes in on the polls today, what you're liking for the sides and totals of both of these Monday Night Football games, and get those votes in. We will talk about those after Sean Higgs here, but the trend for the over is riding with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 7 of their last 8 road games following a win has gone over that total number. Remember, guys, that goes into last year's, and this is a really strong defense. That's a trend that I am scrapping. We've also seen the player prop trend for this game being Rachaad White. The running back has scored at least 1 touchdown in each of the Bucs' last 5 games as an underdog. So that's coming in at plus 500. Is that a trend that you like, the running back Rachaad White to get in the end zone here with what Houston was able to do against the run in that last game? It's kind of nerve-wracking for me, but if you don't like that, where are you going with some props in this before we get into the late night game?
Well, I think the other day we were talking about props. I was like, hey, I kind of like these running backs, and it didn't really work out all that well when they were big odds there, so it didn't work out that well. How about instead of a running back, can I go to Baker 2 touchdown passes?
You can absolutely do that. And you know how much great plus money that is? Because I was really interested looking at this. So let me just find Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns is plus 122. CJ Stroud over the 1.5 passing touchdowns plus 134. We're getting so much plus money on these guys to throw those touchdowns in.
Yeah, listen, I'll take a little plus money like that. I mean, I feel like they're more a passing than running kind of look. So, give me the passing touchdowns for the quarterbacks here, and which is people are like, oh, I'm taking 4 touchdowns from quarterbacks, and I like it under. Well, I only need one of these guys to do it because it's plus money, and I'm going to make a little bit. You can't just think of going undefeated in everything. If you're going into a prop game, at least for me, Joe, it's I need pluses because there's going to be a couple of them, and if I get a split, I'm winning. That's what you got to look at for a prop. You can't, I'm not saying, oh, look, 195. Let's take a minus 195. I said that to them. I'm like, no, we'll get off that guy. We're not doing that. That's way too many. Plus money on both. One guy hits it. We got a winning night, and we're on to the next day.
So I'm going to throw Nico Collins at you to get one of those passing touchdowns from CJ Stroud. He's coming in at plus 158, and you look at him and Stroud at home, their connection is undeniable with what they're able to do. He gets those touchdowns at home with Stroud passing that ball. So I'll take him at plus 158.
I like Nico Collins, and here's the problem. People ask like, oh, you do fantasy, this and that. So I'm in a league with some buddies of mine from back in the mid-90s, and they needed a person a couple years ago. I said, all right, whatever, I'll join. It's $100. It's fun. But the guy I'm playing against, I saw, has him going tonight, of Nico. So this is why I don't do fantasy or a lot of props, because I'm cheering for one thing. I like Houston. I like the under. But then I got to cheer for a prop on a guy that could come back and bite me on the butt. That's why you're either heavy into props on a single game or stuff. You can't really mix and match because you're hoping for one thing, you're cheering for another, but you need a third thing to happen.
Yeah, that was like me yesterday. I don't even know how I deferred to the Cowboys last second. I panicked with the Lions for my survivor pick, put the Cowboys, but then I had the Giants plus the points in one of my against the spread picks. And I was like, what the heck am I doing when I realized that it's too late to change anything, but thankfully it got done. Let's jump into the second game here, the LA Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now this one is kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern. We are seeing 3.5s now out there for the Chargers. They're getting like -103, +100 on some books. Open your odds logic page, you guys. The Vegas Raiders total here for this one it's climbing 44.5. It opened at, I'm seeing a 47 on sports 411. So make sure if you like this one to the over, you get it now 46.5. I think people are going to come in on this one to the over. We're seeing Ricardo here liking that over, and I don't blame him. I'm leaning to the over in this one, Higgs. What are you liking for a side or a total?
Believe it or not, in this one, it's going up. I like the under. Chargers back from Brazil. It's their second road game, but is this really a road game? It's what, a 45-minute flight to Vegas. It's not really travel spot. You came home, even if you got back Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening from Brazil, you still Sunday to get into play or into your bed, and then Monday it's a regular week. I think this is an under. I really do. I think the Raiders are going to want to run the ball, right? They're going to do what they do. They play a little defense. Chargers are off a big win, right? They finally beat Kansas City, got that, monkey off their back a little bit where Kansas City had been nipping them there. They have Denver on deck. This is, to me, this looks like it's not a flat spot, but a spot where it's, all right, can we get a 24-20, right? I mean, the line's going up. You think, I think Herbert's going to come in and chuck it all over the place. I don't. I think the Raiders are a little underrated and undervalued. Now, where I want to, listen, the Raiders' schedule's crazy, Joe. They were, they start in the East. They're home. They go back out. I mean, they're in Indianapolis next week. Then they're back home. Then they're in Chicago. It's just a weird. They're home and then they're away. But here they are off a nice win. I think they're going to run the ball. I think the defense could get a little bit of pressure on Herbert. And again, these two old school kind of coaches, I could see kind of not a old school smash mouth kind of game, but definitely not this definitely is not going to be, I don't think, a Bills Ravens type affair like the Lions putting up a 50 spot. Can the Chargers win? I like the Raiders based on just how they are in this spot here. They're home and the Chargers off a big win and stuff like that. If you told me the Chargers win 30-10, I wouldn't be shocked. But I still don't think it's going to go over. Even if one team gets into the high 20s or even the 30s, I don't think the other team will be scoring all that much. Listen, if the Raiders get in the 30s, it's an over. I mean, that's the Raiders scoring that many points, it's going to be an over. But I don't think it's going to get like that.
What do you think of Jim Carroll's comments Pete Carroll, Jim Carroll. I was combining their names. Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh. What do you think on Pete Carroll's comments on Jim Harbaugh? He said, I remember Jim. I have no fond memories. There have been great games. Like, he said that to the media when he was asked about Jim Harbaugh. I don't know. Is that going to fire up Jim? Jim sounds seems like such a fun, nice guy. How fired up will that make him, though?
Listen, Carroll was rolling USC to natties, and Harbaugh was grinding along. I mean, come on, it was, fun stuff. But I don't know if I want to poke the bear. I think the Chargers are the better team. They're favored here by 3.5. I mean, let's be honest. The Chargers are better. The Raiders are predicted to win 5 games this year or something like that. They're not going to go anywhere. Interesting that he's still angry here, just whole time. Instead of making a joke, bro, you're 75, man. Make a joke. Relax. Where do your times? You're not born for this earth, bro. What are you getting cranked up about? You're living in Vegas. You took this job. What are you upset about? I don't
Absolutely.
know.
Okay, now I have to say I loved what I saw out of what Chip Kelly's doing with this offense of the Raiders. It's up tempo. Geno Smith fitting perfectly in here, but I still have question marks on the defense for the Raiders, and that gives me concern in that total because it's Max Crosby, Mad Max, and then who? Who else can you really trust on this defense here for the Raiders? So that's where I'm stressed.
I can't name a guy in the defense other than Crosby. I don't know, Cat.
Yeah.
But again, Harbaugh, is he going to run it up on the Raiders here? This is a long season. Like, this is week 2. You can't be going stupid stuff here. Can they win? Yes. But like you bring up Chip Kelly, he took this job.
Yeah.
Carroll took this job and brought in Geno, his guy from Seattle, who, delivered for him. He's going a little veteran guy. He's familiar with the system. They looked all right against the Patriots. And, look at the Patriots yesterday. What was that crazy game? 60-some points scored in that game. So is the Raiders defense that good because you're off a nice win on the road? Or is it like everything else, an overreaction? You had a good game. The other team played kind of poorly. You're somewhere in the middle. Chargers obviously were balls to the wall to beat the Chiefs. They can't get any higher than that. It's a big win. Yeah. This, again, I think it's going to be Geno is a nice game manager. He can do some things, They don't need a lot here. I really think it's going to be a kind of close game, a field goal type game. Yeah. And I don't think people are going to run to the over. It's going up.
It is.
And can I be wrong on my thought process on it? Because, again, I'm thinking it's going to be Raiders controlling the clock and eating up and keeping the Chargers off the field. Because you don't want the Chargers off. They can throw the ball 20 times to Lad McConkey, 10 times to, Allen, and they're going to run a little bit.
Which Harbaugh loves to run. So that's my biggest question mark. When we saw them versus the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs expected that run game, which we saw Herbie get some nice yards on the ground, and we did see that workload on the ground. But the majority of that game, Herbert was slinging that ball like I didn't expect. Yep. So maybe they return to the form that we saw last season coming into this game where they're going to run it. And they're going to run it hard, which leans me on Hampton, the rookie running back here, as well as Ashton Genty on the other side. I think both of these rookie running backs have big days. I'm looking for both to get in the end zone. What are your thoughts on the rookie running backs here?
I'm not hoping for big days. I'm hoping for a lot of 3 and outs. I'm hoping for 18 carries, 56 yards kind of things there for you. But now, listen, are you getting what is the?
It's not good. You're not getting a good price. You're getting Ashton Genty for the touchdowns -110 for the Raiders. Hampton coming in at -125 for the Chargers. The book's thinking this is going to be a run style game in the red zone.
110 and 120. Remember Thursday night? I was like, oh, what's Rodgers? And he was or Jacobs was -190 or something. I'm like, oh my God. So, at even money like that, that's that's kind of low. That's actually a worrisome total. I like to hear that because to me it looks like there's going to be not a lot of touchdowns or they're just all coming through the air. Yeah. If they're that kind of short. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Hey, listen, if you like both of those guys, I hate saying parlays, although this is the Picks and Parlays channel. Why not put them together and say, a couple anytime tutties for the 2 running backs will give you a little payday there.
Absolutely. Okay. So we've talked this one out. Monday Night Football. We've got the 2 games. If I can talk the doubleheader here, we do have 9 games out there on the diamonds today. Is there anything that is really jumping off the board? If there isn't, that's okay. We've talked a lot here with Monday Night Football, but we do have the Cubs and the Pirates. We have the Braves and the Nationals. Nationals starting Michael Parker there. They're +144 at home. We've got the Blue Jays taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, New York Yankees taking on the Twins, the Orioles and the White Sox. I can't get behind the White Sox. They're +120 though at home, Sean. Those dogs always jump off the page, but we're wrapping up the night with the Dodgers, of course, a -120 favorite over the Phillies. Suarez getting the start for the Phillies. Could they pull it out? What are you liking?
I had with today's NFL, I think 13 or 14 games this weekend of NFL action.
Yeah.
Baseball this month, I am 10-6, 63%. Not a lot of MLB because, the lines get bigger. And I kind of shift a little towards football anyway, based on the bigger lines, the have and have nots, and who's quit and who's got some young guys. A couple games here. Braves and Nats, I like the over in this one. I think you got 2. Hello, I'm back. You got 2 teams playing out the string. Strider he looked good a little bit in his return from injury, but not a good season for him overall. Even for this of the Braves in general, bad year. So I lean to the over in that one there. I like the Jays. I like a little Canadian action here. Give me Toronto in the over there in the minor league park in Florida. I think Toronto wins there and an over spot. The Yankees. I thought about grabbing Minnesota there. I was like, all right, you're going to give me a 170, 160. I saw the Yanks are only a 115 on a run line. You know what? If the Yanks lose a run line here, and I hate going off of history, because I'm like, well, who was on the, nobody on the 2007 Yanks or the 98 Yanks or Twins are on these rosters anymore. But man, the Yanks just destroy Minnesota. So minus 115 on the run line. Rangers and Astros, I like the under. These guys have been under teams all year long. They're bad. Forget about just the wild card. They're playoff lives. Wild card, AL West title, everything's included here. So pressure baseball, I'll go under there. I like the Diamondbacks, believe it or not, on the run line. They're plus 150 something. I know the Giants have been hitting, have been hot. I'll take a stab at the big money, 155. And Phillies and Dodgers, this is like a double play here for me, Joe, because you're getting a little plus money tonight with the Phillies against Sheehan, and tomorrow they're the same thing against Ohtani, like plus 110, plus 115. They're going to get one of these games. The Phillies are good. They lost their ace, and I thought they'd stumble. They haven't. They haven't stumbled. They won, 8 of 10? They're not slowing down. Maybe they still think they can catch Milwaukee. Either way, they want to stay ahead of the Dodgers. I'll take the Phillies today, but you got to play them tomorrow too, because at worst you split. But again, we talked about Baker and Stroud touchdown passes. You get one of them to hit it, you'll be plus money. Same thing here. Phillies take one out of the first two here, split the first two. You got plus money and it's a winner in your pocket. So that's the way I do my baseball. I mean, I got a whole lot of baseball on here, like 600-700 games. I don't look at it as just a one game kind of spot. That'll be like, all right, I'll take the Phillies today and tomorrow. And then I catch both of them. I'll be back on them on game 3 for the sweep. No way the Dodgers could get swept, right? So I'll try it for 2. I'll try for the split, and if things go my way, I'm going to be looking at 3 in a row.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Now, I want to ask you about a home run prop. How much do you get into the trends here with the home run? Aaron Judge, we know we're not getting great prices for him to hit the home run, but he's had at least one home run in 3 of the Yankees' last 4 games. So he's coming in right now, right around that plus 180 mark. Normally for home run props, I like that plus 250 and up, but it's Aaron Judge. Can you trust him today here versus the Minnesota Twins to hit a nice one deep in this game?
I would not, again, 180 to me on a home run prop's not worth it. I told you, like last week we were talking about the Lindor and Soto stolen base props, and they're all like 350 or more. I'm a big ribby prop guy where I'll drop 3 or 4 guys from like the 5, 6, 7 hitter on some team and go look for guys at 145 or more. If I want to do a Judge thing here, I'm not going to do a home run. I would look at like 3 runs of ribbies. What is the 3 spot for him run a ribby? That's got to be that's got to be 2 to 1. Because if he hits a home run, he's got 2 of them taken care of already before he's knocked in anybody else. Or he gets a base hit and somebody drives him in, right? I mean, they're favored. The total's 9.5.
Yeah. He's
got to cross the plate at least 2 times anyway. And his rate, he'll drive in at least a run if he goes yard. So I would look at his 3 runner ribbies over.
Okay, so his 2+ runs is plus 290. His 2+ RBIs is plus 260. If we're going all the way up, actually, I'm not seeing 3+ here. 3+ runs though is plus 1400 for Aaron Judge. If you think he can get that big of a day, it is versus Simon Woods Richardson.
There's I was gonna say if you could combine them like for total runs or ribbies combined, they only have those separate for you there.
Yeah, I'm only getting them separate, but I think
so 2 ribbies were how much?
2 RBIs coming in at 1 second. We're coming in at plus 260. So if you have plus 260 plus, and you can combine that with 2+ runs at plus 471. You take him 2+ runs and 2+ RBIs plus 471.
One of those is coming in. Even if he walks, he could go 1 for 1 with like 2 walks on a day and a sac fly or something. You're getting 2 runs and a ribby on him, or even just the 2 runs alone at 4 to 1. You said right? Plus,
that's it's ridiculous. Great plus money. So that's where I would look. Well, I love that you're going there.
Again, I can't look at something easy, John. You're going to come on and be like, "Let's take a home." I'm going to be, I know home run prop. I want to do like 3 runs. I'm going to combine runs and ribbies and try to get like a 4-pack or something.
Right. I think we should have a segment on this show called Go Big with Higgs. I'm going to make a graphic for that for next time that you are on, Sean. But it's going to be a great day between Monday Night Football out there on the diamonds. Do you want to just recap your best bets for both of these Monday Night Football games? And then let everyone, afterwards, I'll let everyone know where to find you and where to get all your best bets over on Picks and Parlays.
All right, well, let's just start off with the Yankees here with the Judge two-run prop there. I like the 2 runs at 4-1. Listen, the 2 ribbies are nice too, but anything plus more to 4-1, I'm gonna say sign me up for that because I think if he hits a home, he's probably good for a home run, right? I mean, it's plus 180. But again, give me the 2 runs there at the big plus money. I told you to do the Phillies as a double dipper for today and tomorrow at plus money there. And if I'm going to do a favorite other game today, it would probably be the Braves and the Nats over their total. Just 2 teams playing it out, pitching so-so. They got bats, they got some power. Give me the over in that one. And in the NFL side of things, we'll go back to the QB prop, right? Everybody to throw 2 over 1.5 touchdowns. They're both plus money there. We only need one. We only need one of the 2 guys to throw it to get us a winning night there. Again, take the small winning night. You're not going to step over $20 on the street. Why would you do it here? I think one of these guys, I wouldn't say both of them if I didn't like both, but at worst we get one. It's plus money. And again, I like the unders here. I do like the unders in both of these games. Nothing really prop wise in this Raiders game though, Joe. Nothing really stuck out. I mean, the running backs were even money. To me, again, the line's going up. I'm still sticking with my under bet.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've kept you here for way longer than expected, Sean. I know you have a crazy day. You've got a bunch of packages up on Picks and Parlays. People can go over to the site and find you there. What have you got for sale today, just so people know?
I got a couple NFL up here. It's NFL Monday, so of course there's NFL there. And if you don't want my NFL, you know what? Do yourself a favor, get a little weekly pass because college football has been good. Number 1 in the money with college football. NFL winning day yesterday, and I think I'm now 2 games over 5. It started a little slow. NFL went 4-6, but little winning weekend there gets me back to the little plus side of things, even money there. That's about it. I mean, I loaded up. We were talking before. 10 college football I got up today already, plus a couple I had up. So I got 14 college football games for the weekend. Loaded up early. I'm an early kind of riser there with my NFL and college football. And
NFL gets the best of the line, Sean. We know that.
I got 6 games up for NFL, so we got 20 games already up for the weekend. 20 games. And it's only 11:30 on a Monday. 12:30 on a Monday. We're ready to go.
Okay. Well, let's go. Thank you so much for joining me here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays. We'll see you hopefully later in the week for some Thursday night football breakdown. But until then, Sean, let's crush the books, make some freaking money.
Thanks for having me, Joe, and I'll see you whenever you need me. I got you Thursday night. Let's go. Oh, that's a doozy. Miami and Buffalo. We'll definitely have some props in that one.
McDaniel's fired yet? Come on.
Not on a short week. That'll be for the next day. If they lose by 30, he'll be out.
Well, he should be fired before Thursday night football.
Friday morning, if it goes like everybody thinks it's going to go, he'll be out Friday.
Oh, I thought he'd be gone after yesterday, but thank you so much, Sean. We'll see you on Thursday.
Take it easy, Jeff.
Okay, you guys, that was Sean Higgs. Make sure you do go over to Picks and Parlays and check out the picks that he has for a sale. So we're going to just jump into things that I'm liking today. I'm going to look at that poll as well. So we ran a couple of polls over on X to see what you guys were liking. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of you watching over all of the platforms. Drop your questions, drop your comments. I'll get to them here, you guys. But look, this is where we're looking with the polls. 32% of you liking the Chargers laying the 3.5. 41% of you liking the Raiders. The over is coming in at 23%. So X versus the books. The books need the under, and the books are needing the Chargers to lay the 3.5 in that matchup. And in the earlier game, we are seeing the love coming in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at plus 2.5 or on the money line, 35%. Houston, only 17.6% of people liking that. And that over money coming in, 35.3% liking that one to the over, only 11.8% to the under. So that's where we're seeing the love, X versus the books. If you haven't got your votes in, make sure you do. We'll start tracking all of these trends where people are liking on X versus the books going forward. But I want to talk about the games and how I'm seeing them tonight. Sean Higgs and I are on the same page with the Houston Texans today. I do think they're going to come in nice and strong. I loved what we saw out of their defense, and I think they're going to give Baker Mayfield some real struggles tonight. Now, that being said, I do have a player prop here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be able to get in the end zone. And I am looking at a couple of props on Houston side as well as this Chargers Raiders game. I'm staying off the diamonds today. Not going to lie, you guys, I really jumped in deep into Monday Night Football here. I had a rough weekend. Not going to sugarcoat it at all. It was a terrible day Sunday. Saturday, just I struggled out there, and I ended up breaking even on Saturday. Yesterday, I was able to make a little bit of money because I went big on the Atlanta Falcons after I saw the rest of those games, trying to just recoup my losses. So it was a hard day for sure. But again, when the Chiefs go down 0-2 to start the season, it's definitely going to bring this girl a smile. And I think the Raiders and the Chargers game tonight is going to be pivotal for the Chargers to be able to get the win. So let's jump into my Monday Night Football best bets. We're going to start off here with the Houston Texans and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're seeing the spread of 2.5. Go on over to Odds Logic, open up that book. Make sure you're getting your best bets over there. We are seeing the 2.5 at -108 on DraftKings. If you're shopping over at Pinnacle, it's -109. So you are getting value. -115. So in a lot of places, I do think this team can come out and win and cover the spread. It's going to be because of their defense, but offensively, they need to bounce back from what we saw. Now, I love the connection of CJ Stroud and Nico Collins at home. That is an auto bet for me. When they're at home, that is his main target. In the dome, Nico Collins gets those touchdowns at home. +158 for the touchdown. Now, I do think we're going to see Nick Chubb using his legs as well. We did see him not have as much success as I would have liked in that last game. So we didn't see Chubb come out, put up the yards that we really wanted. I'm thinking in this one, he's going and he still played a solid run game in week 1. Don't get me wrong. But I think his number of 51.5 is just too light. We know D'Amico Ryans was excited with what he saw out of him in week 1. He said, I think Chubb ran the ball well. And I really love to look at what these coaches say about these players. We're going to try to lean on Chubb a little bit more. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at his comments, and I do think they're going to lean on him. So Chubb over 51.5 rushing yards in this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. And then we got to talk about someone for Tampa. I don't like to put just props on one side. When we look at Baker Mayfield, we know Baker Mayfield is going to try to move that ball through the air. And I do think Mike Evans, he's a prime target for him in the red zone. And I do think he gets him the ball tonight. I'm going to look at Mike Evans to be targeted. You could look at him for his receiving prop. Receiving yards, it's 66.5. I'll just take him for the anytime touchdown. I do think if he's going over the 66.5 receiving yards, he's getting in the end zone. That's coming in at +164. So that is where I'm going. I hate fading players, you guys, but if I was going to fade anyone for the Bucs, it's Bucky Irving. I would look at him under 61.5 rushing yards. I know it's not making my best bets here for Monday Night Football, but that is where I'd go with Bucky Irving. Again, I hate fading players. I hate taking unders on their props. I just don't see him being able to run on this defense here. So that's what I'm liking in that matchup. And then when we turn to the LA Chargers and the Raiders, you guys know I'm a little biased here with my LA Chargers. They're my team, and I try to take that bias out of the game. Now, what we saw with the Chargers versus the Chiefs over in Brazil, they passed the ball a heck of a lot more than I expected under Jim Harbaugh. We know Jim Harbaugh loves to play that run style game, and I think they get a little bit more back to it in this one, but I can't see this one staying under that total. I don't trust the Raiders defense. Raiders are Max Crosby and then who? So that is my biggest question mark with the Raiders is will they be able to stop it? And then we look at Geno Smith here. Okay, so Chip Kelly is a high tempo offensive coordinator. He likes that ball fast and hard. They're moving quick out there. We saw the hurry up in their last game, and I think we're going to see that again here. We know the Chargers. Joey Bosa's gone. We know the Chargers have had those struggles on the defensive side of things over the years. They look great versus the Chiefs, right? We saw them look more complete out there in that win. They played their best game. They were so prepared to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we see Geno Smith and the Raiders score on them. Absolutely. Now, Brock Bowers, still question mark around how healthy he is. I do think Genty is going to get a workload on the ground. We're going to see success out of both of these teams, in my opinion. So let's get to my best bets here. What I'm liking in this Monday Night Football game. So when we look at this, the Chargers and the Raiders, I am opposite Sean Higgs, and we know Higgs is just absolutely crushing it. So do what you want with this, you guys. I'm going to take the over 46.5. Again, those lines are firing up. Open your odds logic page. We are seeing 47. So if you're with me on the over 46.5, get in on it right now before the public comes in at the end of the day and really fires this one up to 47. I will take Geno Smith. I love what we saw out of him in that last game, and I think Geno Smith is going to have a big night. He was able to attack all areas down the field. He wasn't just really, firing up the middle. He was firing that ball all over. Chip Kelly is going to get him moving fast. He had 4 completions of 20-plus yards downfield against the Patriots, and we saw the Patriots give up those points to Miami yesterday, but still, I'm so sold on Geno Smith. Not a statement I ever thought would have come out of my mouth. So I'll take Geno Smith over 240.5 passing yards in this game. Then I'm going to look at Justin Herbert. We know Herbert versus the Chiefs was able to scramble out there. Max Crosby is going to be chasing Justin Herbert. Herbert's going to be running in this game with that pressure coming from Crosby. I will take him over 17.5 rushing yards. I do think he goes for a long run. We saw 19 in that one chunk run versus the Chiefs, and I think he gets there. Now, I do think this game is about the story of the young running backs. These running backs were so phenomenal in college, and I'm looking for so much success out of them this year. Ashton Genty for the Raiders for the touchdown at -110. Omarion Hampton for the touchdown at -125 for the Chargers. I know you having to lay juice with both of these guys, but I do expect both of them to be able to get in the end zone. So those are my Monday Night Football best bets between the Chargers and the Raiders. Give me the over 46.5. Give me Geno Smith over 240.5 passing yards. Justin Herbert over 17.5 rushing yards. Ashton Genty for the touchdown, and Omarion Hampton for the touchdown at -125. So that being said, you guys know I started a new segment called It's All About the D. And you guys know I love the defensive props. Now, in tonight's matchup, can I see any of these defenses getting the defensive touchdown? I haven't got to the market yet. I haven't got to the window. I haven't bet any of these, but if I'm looking at all 4 of these defenses, which defense do I trust most to get in the end zone? It's going to be the Houston Texans. I would look at the Houston Texans for that defensive touchdown. We know Baker can throw those interceptions. He is the quarterback that I trust the least out here, but could CJ Stroud, because of the down play they had on their offense last week, chuck one up and see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense get that touchdown? It could happen as well. So that is the game that I would look for more. I don't think it happens in the Chargers and Raiders game, but we're looking at some players for some sacks out there. And this is one of my favorite market to look at is the sacks. So Joe's best bets, Monday Night Football. It's all about the D, you guys. For the Las Vegas Raiders, we got to look at Max Crosby for the anytime sack tonight. Max Crosby coming in for the anytime sack at -114. He is going to be absolutely hunting Justin Herbert tonight. Look for him to get the sack on my quarterback. I told you guys this is my team, and while I can be biased, I am not taking Max Crosby. I would wear his jersey. The only Raiders player I think I'd wear the jersey for. Like I said, I love defense. So Max Crosby for the anytime sack on Justin Herbert, -114. When we look at the LA Chargers, it's got to be Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack to break through and get to Geno Smith. I do think with the hurry-up offense under Chip Kelly, we see Khalil Mack sneak a sack in here as they're just not fully prepared on that offensive line. He's coming in at +154. Gotta love that plus money. And then when we look at the Houston Texans today, and where I'm going to go with the Houston Texans, it's Will Anderson Jr. for the sack. Now, he's so juiced. The book's expecting it. If you can get him for 2+ sacks on your book, definitely look at that because you're getting that right around that +160 mark, I believe. He's -144 for the sack today. He had 18 sacks last season, averaging just shy of 1 sack per game, and he has been so solid. He put that pressure on Stafford last week, and I'm expecting that pressure to absolutely come again. in this one. So my Monday night football, all about the defense. We're going to go Max Crosby for the anytime sack. We're going to look at Khalil Mack for the sack and Will Anderson Jr. for the sack. If you want to do a combination, maybe a round robin of those guys for their sacks, this is Picks and Parlays. So whichever way you want to go with that, you guys, I do think 2 of the 3 are going to get us some money tonight. Hopefully it's just not Will Anderson and Max Crosby. Hopefully Khalil Mack can get us in there for that great plus money. So that is where I'm going. It should be a great day out there on the diamonds as well. I do like Aaron Judge for that home run. I know it's just plus 180. It's going to be some interesting games out there for sure, but I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to take one more look at those polls over on X. Make sure you do get your bets in. We are still seeing the love coming in for the Raiders. 42.4% of you liking the Raiders plus the 3.5. We're seeing that under only 3%, which, man, I tell you, it's always nicer to be on the side of the books. Only 3% of you liking the 46.5. I am with you guys on that over on X at 40 or at 18.2% of you liking the over. And then when we look at the Tampa versus Houston game, we're seeing 41% of you guys liking Tampa plus the 2.5 or on the money line. And it's pretty split on the over under, with you guys 50-50 on that over under on X, but it should be a great day out there. Ray, thank you so much for being here. Bruce liking the Phillies on the money line. Again, you guys, make sure you do join me Thursday. We're live here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. We do run live Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And then you want to get those notifications on for when Total Chaos drops with Allie Burns. You don't want to miss out on any of the action. The free picks coming out here on Picks and Parlays, dropping on the daily. So you guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification button. Do me a solid as well. Make sure you hit the retweet button over on X. We're streaming on all the platforms here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays. But you guys, all the best in Monday Night Football. Hopefully I'm not crying myself to sleep tonight looking for my Chargers to get the win. But until Thursday, again, 11 a.m. Eastern, I expect to see all of you here. Stay hot. Let's make some freaking money, and all the best in all of your bets. We'll see you on Thursday.